Well, hello to you and welcome to Adelante Chicago. I'm Lourdes Duarte. Bienvenidos, and thank you so much for joining me today. As you continue your Hispanic Heritage Month celebrations, we want to provide you with more data, more stories that can help the growing Latino community succeed. One place that is helping our many organizations with information is UIC's Great Cities Institute. For years, they've been researching the contributions of Latinos in Chicago, and they just so happen to have come out with a Latino Research Initiative. And here to tell us a little bit more about it is Teresa Cordova, who leads the Great Cities Institute and is professor of urban planning and policy. Always nice to talk to you.
Always great to see you, Lourdes. Thank you.
You know, I said early on that we try to provide people with the data and the stories to help them succeed, and that is exactly what you guys are doing. Talk to me about what led you to this research project.
That is exactly what we're doing, and you really nailed it when you said part of the purpose of this is to bring together the various stakeholders. So we serve as a kind of hub, as a crossway for different organizations, stakeholders, policymakers, people who work in social service delivery, foundations, various civic organizations, and other stakeholders. And our work is to work with those different agencies and organizations to help provide information, data, and analysis that they can use to better serve the populations that they work with. So it helps with policy formation, it helps with making decisions about programs, for example, where to distribute funding and so on.
Okay. Yeah, no, obviously the more data that you can have, the more that you can sort of spotlight a community and figure out ways to help them.
And a good example of that is the project we did with Community Memorial Foundation and Healthy Communities Foundation, where we did a microsite which people can access from our website on the western suburbs. And it's city by city, and it gives a lot of detail that helps to target what are the various situations there in the different municipalities and western suburbs.
Okay, so let's break it down, all the details that you were able to gather. You looked at sort of city Latino population versus suburbs. That's one of the key points that comes out of this research initiative. Talk to me about what you found.
There are about 800,000 Latinos in the city, but we don't often realize how many there are in the suburbs, and there's about 1.2 million. And in fact, one of the ways and one of the reasons why that is so important is that at a time when the population is otherwise declining, Latinos, with their influx, has made sure that our population has not only remained stable, but has increased. So we prevent the area from losing money, losing population. When I say money, it means because of us, we are able to get more federal dollars. We're able to get more representation, and so on and so forth. And we are, with our numbers, and it really important as not only in terms of our role in employment, but also as consumers and as small business owners. So as consumers, for example, we contribute over $100 billion to the GDP of Illinois. And 75 billion of that is just around consumption. So that means we're paying taxes, we're paying sales tax, and so on. And then, of course, we're small business owners, and we make up a large portion of the workforce as well, with 79% of our population in the workforce.
So you do the research. Part of what I do as a journalist is ask the why behind the numbers. So did your research sort of give you an idea or a glimpse at, you know, sort of why 800,000 here, why 1.2 million in the suburbs? Like, why are they going to those areas rather than staying in the city of Chicago?
So that's a great question, and it's a combination of two things. One is, let me just say, first of all, we have been in the suburbs for a very long time. There's some very old neighborhoods or old areas, communities that we've been in. Elgin, for example, up in Lake County, Waukegan, for example. There are areas where we historically have gone. Melrose Park, for example. More recently, though, we have gone straight there and have bypassed the city in even larger numbers.
So meaning they're not stopping here, they're just going straight to those
which has
areas.
always been true, it's just that it's happening now in larger numbers. Now, in addition, this is really to your question, in addition, we have people who are leaving the city and going there. And part of why that is happening is because of affordability. Gentrification is a big issue. We've lost population, for example, in Pilsen and in Logan Square. We have two separate reports that highlight this. The area around Puerto Rico town is dealing with the issues of gentrification, for example. But the other part that really helps explain our presence and our relationship to where we live is where we work. So we have historically settled in areas close to where we work, whether it was South Chicago in the steel mills or back of the yards in the meat packing or near West Side in the railroads and so on. We work in factories and we live very close to those factories. Whether it was the old piano factories in Melrose Park, and a whole slew of other kinds of factories that are in the suburbs, that's part of why we are there, because we provide the labor force for those factories.
Okay. Talk to me about, and I don't know if your research sort of looked at this, the big story recently has been the number of migrants who are coming in, mainly from Venezuela, are now living in Chicago. I mean, we're talking about over 17,000 people that are now new migrants to the Chicago area. How does that factor into your research? What other types of things you think you'll be looking at, taking into account this portion of the community?
Well, we are looking at that, actually, and a couple of things that have become really important is that, first of all, to understand why people are coming here. We really need to understand the movement of most groups, right? But certainly in the case right now, we're talking about Venezuela, the relationship between our foreign policy, for example, our economic policies towards Venezuela. But that's true for all, for
the
all
entire country.
That's true for all of our the immigration. There's a relationship there between foreign policy and the foreign policy, in particular actions within that foreign policy at a particular moment in time. So that's why we're seeing it now versus maybe 2 years ago. So there's a direct connection there. The second thing that we've been looking at is the ways in which our population is being integrated versus other immigrant groups and how they get integrated. So we compare, for example, to Ukrainian refugees who are coming in larger numbers even, but you don't hear about that as much. You don't hear, for example, about that so much in the media. You don't hear about that so much being talked about by the policymakers. They're quietly being integrated in twice the numbers that the more recent immigrants that are coming from Latin America.
And I mean, not to get into the whole political debate, but obviously part of that is because they're allowed to get work permits immediately as they walk in the door.
That is a huge point. That's a major point, yeah.
Okay, so interesting. Again, people can read about the Latino Research Initiative and all the great work that you do by visiting UIC's Great Cities Institute. Yes. Is there a website you want to share with us?
There is a website, the UIC, I think it's greatcities.edu, I think is the website.
.edu?
You can Google it and find it. And there's a whole slew of reports there. And invite you next year, September 17, 2024,
write it down. Okay.
For our big event that'll bring, that's a follow-up to the event we just had, that'll bring together, again, a lot of these stakeholders and more of our research. But yeah, get on our website, get on our listserv, and love to keep you in touch.
Okay, sounds good. Teresa Cordova, thank you so much.